Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining us in the 28th years of the Alexandria Poetry Declamation Prize. So that's a big number. In 2 years' time, 30 years of the prize. For which we thank Justin Goad, who is joining us today as one of the members of the panel of judges. And Justin founded the prize in 1993 because he puts it profoundly that poetry, learning a poem and reciting a poem in the Arab world, it's like a passport that a student carries around. So if you go to a cafe and recite a poem, no matter how much or how little you know about the language, if you recite the poem, you will immediately win the hearts and minds of the people there. Okay, and it's a passport to their hearts and minds. And I do love this way that you put it, Justin. So Justin is a graduate of Arabic and Islamic Studies from the University of Exeter. Justin graduated in the year 1988, and he spent his year abroad in Alexandria, Egypt in the mid-80s, along with students from other universities and our students as well. And one of the things that Justin mentioned to me is the rite of passage of any student that who goes and spends a year abroad in the Arab world. What happens usually is that you get a role in making a movie or taking part in a mini-series that was being filmed for the BBC with no less than Emma Thompson and Kenneth Branagh in that year. So basically Justin and his classmates have taken the role of extras in that mini-series and got paid a staggering 200 Egyptian pounds per day for sitting around in the sporting club in Alexandria. Justin, after graduating from the University of Exeter, Justin went on to do an MPhil in land management in the University of Reading, after which he moved to London to work and qualify as a chartered surveyor. And then Justin moved on to work in the Arab world, in the Gulf, and he worked in property there. After which in 2000, he came back to Devon and started a business in farming. And also he continues to work in property management, doing assignments in North Africa and the Middle East. We are really thankful to Justin for founding this prize. He founded with a former lecturer at the Institute of Arab and Islamic Studies, Jack Smart, and we are so happy to continue it, and hopefully we will be doing it for years to come annually. I would also like to welcome our esteemed guest judge, Sheikha Hlewi, who joins us today from Jaffa. And Sheikha was born in the Bedouin village, an previously unrecognized Bedouin village of Dhil Araj near Haifa. And she currently works as a lecturer in Arab feminism at the University of Ben Gurion. Sheikha has published, Sheikha is an author, a poet, and an educator, and she has published 3 collections of short stories and 1 collection of poetry, and we are looking forward to her second collection of poetry in the next few months. We are so lucky. I am so lucky to say that Sheikha will be reading us some of her poetry after the announcement of the winners today, from her previous collection, خارج الفصول تعلمت الطيران, and from her forthcoming collection as well. We are so lucky to be amongst the first to hear her poems. The collection of short stories by Sheikha include The Ladies of the Twilight in 2015, سيدات العتمة, Windows Are Spoiled Books, النوافذ كتب رديئة, which was published in 2016, and The Order C345, الطلبية C345, which is a collection of short stories that was awarded the prize of Best Short Story Book in the Arab world in 2019-2020. Another of her short stories, The Braid, الضفيرة, has been chosen for inclusion in the Best Small Fictions 2020 by Sonder Press. Some of Sheikha's work has been translated to other languages such as English, German, French, and Bulgarian, and she was published in prestigious magazines across the world. So welcome, Sheikha, and welcome to Justin. And I would also like to welcome my colleagues, Dr. Giorgia Ferrari, and my colleague Safa Radwan, for joining us as members of the panel of judges.